The Kimberley community of Oombulgurri is being demolished as we speak, with locals being relocated against their wishes to the town of Wyndham. Indigenous leaders across the West and in the Northern Territory are concerned about the social impact on all involved. The closure of over 100 communities in WA was brought up for discussion today in the West Australian Parliament. Labor and Greens members questioned Aboriginal Affairs Minister Peter Collier about the government's plans. The government has responded by saying it's still too soon in the process to give a definitive explanation of how the Barnett government intends to carry out the closures. Perth correspondent Craig Quartermaine sat down with the CEO of WA Legal Services, Dennis Eggington, to discuss the impact on the people who live in these remote communities.
To me, what he's saying is that there is no value in Aboriginal people at all. And let me explain that, Craig, because in Australia there's lots of things that aren't economically viable. Drought-ridden farms, but the state and the Commonwealth subsidise those farms. They pour money into them to keep those people on the land. They put in the flying doctor service, they put in School of the Air. And here are our remote communities where culture is so much alive and well, where there's language and ceremony, but that's not important. It's not viable. It's a waste of money to pour money into these communities. And what does that say about the value of Aboriginal people, our culture and our contribution to this state?
What do you make of Premier Barnett's reasoning that because the Commonwealth has pulled their funding, that the WA government has no other choice?
The state shouldn't leave it to the Commonwealth anyway. We contribute to this state. We work in this state. We provide an economy to the state through things like tourism, working in the cattle industry. We contribute to this state. The state should look after us. But, you know, a cynical side of me also says, Craig, that, you know, that's what happens when you invade people's country. You expect that there's going to be a price for that. If that's what you want to do, then you expect that it's going to cost you.
What about legitimising it because the communities are full of too much abuse and suicide rates are too high?
They're all part and parcel of oppression and a marginalised group of people. They're not, you know, our children are born just as innocent as any other child on this earth.
Can you tell me about the impact of moving so many people from remote communities to other townships?
I can tell the Premier now, suicide rates will go up and disadvantage for Aboriginal people will increase.
I guess just finally, what would you like to plead with the Premier of Western Australia in regards to this policy?
We're your family too. We're a part of the family of humanity. Why are you treating us so differently? Unless you're really prepared and you understand that people are not just going to walk away from their country, you must realise that a decision to close these remote communities is going to cause conflict. Why would you want to walk down the path of continued conflict with Aboriginal people in this state?